So this is Math 1012, Foundation of Mathematics, Session 4.4, Estimating and Order of Operation for Decimal Numbers. This session is fairly easy. You just gotta be very careful with how they want you to estimate numbers. So let me just go through some homework problems. Number one, look at this guy, right? You are trying to add 58.05 plus 46.5 plus 8.17. Now, they want you to estimate this thing. So think about what if you for example, at a mall or something. I know you haven't been to the mall for a while, right, because of coronavirus. Um, what would you do if an item costs 58 dollars and 5 cents? How would you run it to up top of your head? Now, for me, there are two ways to do. You can either say that's almost $58, or you can say it's almost $60. 60 is easier. I'm thinking about, right, who's gonna play games with that $2, right? $58, whatever. That's almost 60. That's a lot easier to add. Now, if you look at 46.5, again, the rounding can be tricky. I would just say it's almost $50. It's easier that way because there's no real difference between say 40, $47 and $50, right? It's not a whole lot of difference. The problem is the $8.17. You would think, based on the logic that we have just done, you would think it's closer to $10. And honestly, in real life, it's probably true. The problem this particular homework session is if it's a one digit, if it's a number less than 10, they don't want you to round it up to a 10. They just want you to round it to the next dollar. So for us, that's almost $8. I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because there's no real difference, right, between 8 and 10, right? But that just to kind of help you if you have like $4.70, right? You're not gonna round to $10. So what are you supposed to do with $4 or $5? So when you have basically under 10, round it to single digit. So of course this is easy, right? Add them up together. 60 plus 50 is 110. 118 will be the answer. And so it takes some practice, right, just to get to what they want. So you just gotta be careful. Same thing over here. They want you to find the actual sum. I'm sure you guys can handle it. Just put in a calculator and get the answer. So now, estimate using the round number. For this guy, I think it's probably easier. I'm gonna give it a try. Right? And I could be wrong because some of these rounding definitely is not logical. So it's logical to them, of course. $75.38 subtract $47.66. Um, I would say this: 75.38 is almost $80. 47.66 is almost 50. So I say the difference about $30. So that way, it's probably the easiest way. So let's try that. So that it will take it. So I know it's easy to round it up to 75 minus 48. That's actually make it a little bit more difficult, right? What is 80 minus 50? That's the easiest way. So again, answer the second part of the question using the calculator, and you're good to go. Now the division is another part that again makes you scratch your head a little bit, right? 235.6 divided by 4.4. So what's the game here? Well, the game here is I don't want to be dividing decimal number. Let me just try to use logic, right, just to round it up. So let's see. 235.6. That's almost 240, don't you think? Right? It's almost 240, right? It's not a whole lot of difference between them. 4.4 is almost $4, isn't it? So think about it, right? It's a lot easier to divide these two. I can do it in my head. 4 goes into 24 6 times. So that's 60. So this is an easier way to get to the answer. Oh, hold on a second. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Try again. Try again. So, they might try to be a little bit. So you see, with these running, sometimes you gotta give it a try again. Like maybe on my second try would be 236 divided by 4. So that way, the answer will be closer, but not necessarily rounded to generally. So let's try this one. 4 goes into 2, 36. Well, 4 goes into 23. How many times? 4 times 5 is 20, right? So that's 3 left over, right? 36 divided by 4, that's 9, right? So maybe try 59 and see what happens. And it's wrong. And I give up. Let me just go to solutions. That's the problem with these guys is sometimes you on I myself included, honestly, have no idea where they want you to run it up to. And as you can see, they want you to run this guy into 200 divided by 4. I don't like that. So on a test, I'll definitely review your problems, right? If you make the same mistake that I have made just now, I'll definitely give you full credit. If you run it up legitimately, right, by the 10, by the individual, and you get an answer, hey, I'll look at it. This one is kind of weird. I would not run 235 and 200, but if you see it on your homework, now you know what to do. So let me see the next problem. That's just the actual problem, all right. So what about a multiplication? So this one, I would say 6.5 times 3.7, right? Well, look at this. 6.5 is almost 7. 3.7 is almost 4. So I'll just go with that. So that should be about 28. That's what I would say. And honestly, I'm a little bit scared when I click on this because you never know. Some of these guys are a little bit crazy. So there you go. Now this one definitely look a little bit crazier. As far as order operation goes, you just gotta make sure you do it legitimately, right? 52.2 plus 31.32 divided by 5.4 times 5.2. And I apologize, I don't have to. You know what? Let me try to find the keys to look exactly like on the division, right? So that way doesn't look like it's two different things. There you go. But now let's see. First of all, you have to understand that please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You got to think about, well, the order operation says, right? The order of operation. Maintain that you have to do. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? You have to do basically parentheses first, right? And then the exponents, right? So exponents will look like this. Right, let me see if I can get like right here. So like this. That's an exponent, right? Or multiplication. Then it's multiplication. Let's see, multiplication, and then division, okay. And then put some more space between them. Like this. Okay. And then addition, and then subtraction. So what exactly is the game now? Well, here's the deal. You have to remember something. Multiplication and division are on the same level. These two are on the same level. Maybe I should use like a bracket or something. And then addition and subtraction are also on the same level. What does that mean? That means if you see division and multiplication at the same time, you do the one that's on the left first. So let me type it up. So if you see multiplication and division at the same time, perform the operation on the left, from left to right. So on the left first. If you see addition and subtraction at the same time, perform the operation on the left first. You always go from left to right. So in our case, right, you see how we have a division here and then a multiplication. Now the addition is out of the game. That is you're not gonna do it until later, until we finish. But the division and the multiplication, right? Do the division first, then you do multiplication. So here's how I'll do it. 52.2, right? Plus, I will go ahead and put in my calculator. What's my calculator, right? I will do 31.32 divided by 5.4. That's 5.8. Okay, 5.8. So I just type it in. Then I keep the multiplication thing. So times 5.2. See that? So the only thing I'm doing is 31.32 divided by 5.4. That's first. Now, the next thing would be multiplication. So that'll be 52.2, right? Add, and now let's see what's up. This guy's 5.8 times 5.2, and that's 30.16. Very nice. Now add those two together. So plus 52.2, and I get 82.36. Right. Again, use your calculator, right? Don't try to go crazy with this. There you go. A lot of work, but oh, and also it says round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Is a trick. You are already at the hundredth, right? Look at this. You only have two decimal places, right? That's what hundredth means. So you don't really have to round it. That's what it says if necessary. So don't get tricked by this. The next one. Michael is taking 4 credit hours of course at his local community college. Each credit hour costs $110.50. He also have to pay 3 technology fee of $19.25. So, with Savannah Ted, it's the same thing. With any, colleges you're taking, classes you're taking, you pay for the course, but you got administrative fee, test fee, all the fees that kind of top it off the tuition. The game is this. For the course, in our case, right, we have 4 credit hours times $110.50 because each credit hour costs that much money. So we gotta figure out what that is first. Right. Then you have the tech fee. The tech fee would be you gotta pay 3 of those guys. So that's 3 times $19.25. So let's put together and see what's up, right? So let's just put the calculator. Let me see. My calculator is right here. 4 times 110.5, right? I usually just go ahead and write down the answer first before I do any more of this. So $442, and then I look at the other one. 3 times $19.25, and that's 57.75. Like that's right. That's equal to, let me say, plus 57.75. 499.75. So that should do it. Just gotta be careful with the words. Just like that. Next one. Now this one definitely look a little bit crazy. Let me type this up here so we can see exactly what's going on. So I'm gonna use the equation here. So this is really nice. 94.5 plus parameter 25.56 minus 3.5 raised to the power of 2, so square. And then divided by, what's the division button? Right here. 5.5. So not too bad. It's just you have to be very aware of what are you going to be basically doing first, right? Based on the order operation. So for me, I'll do this first. I know parameters come first. So the 94.5 and the 5.5 here on the right, I'm just going to pretend I don't even see it. I'm going to focus on the parameters. But within the parameter, I have this. the exponents comes before subtraction. So I will do that first. So let's say I'm going to just go ahead and copy this. And I would go ahead and change this. 3.5 square. Let's see what that equals. 3.5 square. You can of course hit this to get square, but you know square just means multiply by itself, right? 3.5 times 3.5. 12.25 like this. Now let's go ahead and subtract this mess. So let's see what that would equal to. 25 minus 12 is what? 13, right? 56 minus 25 would be 21 or 31. So there you go. So that's basically what's gonna be within the parameters, right? You can definitely work a lot faster than me. Just gotta be careful when you put in the calculator. Don't try to put too much in the calculator at one time. So now the game is, what are we gonna do first? I'm gonna delete the parameters. You basically don't need that anymore. I don't know why they will not let me take it off. So here you go. So division and addition. Division, of course, comes first. So you will have to do this. We are going to work on 13.31 divided by 5.5 and see what that equals to. So 13.31 divided by 5.5, and that's 2.42. 2.42. Now the next step should be pretty easy because all you need to do is write equals, right? 94.5 plus 2.42, and I have 96.92. So again, it is a tricky question, but absolutely just, write this down, copy it down, just go through the step. I go by, step by step. That's just me. You may skip a step here and there. Just gotta make sure you're more comfortable before you do that. So there you go. This one is almost the same thing. Try that out and see what's up. The exponents comes first, right? Do that first, then the division. Then in the end is the addition. So try that out and see. Now this one looks a little bit crazy, so let me try this one here. So this guy is, let me go ahead and add the equation. 5.3 times, so what's the dot? Let's see. Times 1.1 plus 1.2 parameter, 9.4 minus 9.2, and divide by 2.3. So this time, let's see if we can do this just a little bit faster, right, since we're a little bit more comfortable now. So first, I'm going to identify what we need to do first, right? Parentheses, right? But the division, of course, comes first, right? So here's what I would do. I'll go ahead and do 9.2 divided by 2.3. So that's 4. Now, before I do that though, let me copy this. So the first, let me get some more space going. So the first thing is this guy equals 4. So now let me see. Now if I look at, if this is 4, then 9.4 minus 4 is not 9, right? 9.4 minus 4 is like $9.40. Take away $9. That'll be 5.4, right? So this one is not too bad. Now look at this. You have a multiplication on the left. You also have a multiplication here. In here, when there's nothing going on, right? Maybe I should be more specific. When there is nothing in between, it's automatically a multiplication. So now you have two multiplication problems. This guy and this guy. Right? The parameter doesn't really matter. You can take it off if you want to. So the game is you have two multiplications. Just gotta make sure you use a calculator and just go like this. You should have 5.3 times 1.1, right, which is 5.83 plus, and then 1.2 times 5.4, and I get 6.8, like that. And then it's easy, right? All you gotta do is put in the calculator, right? That plus 5.83, I have 12.31. Done. So that should do it. So 12.31. It's a lot of work, especially if you're typing and all. But when you're writing, it should be a little bit easier, a little bit faster. So. Now this one is another problem where we are trying to round this, which I estimate this. So let's see. I do believe that this guy is almost like 9, right? Almost 9. Divided by 3.1, which is almost 3, right? So of course the answer is almost 3. So estimate to be 3. So this one's not too bad. So put that in the calculator and you'll see something very similar. And that's pretty much it for estimating and estimating decimal numbers. So the math isn't particularly hard. It just some of the questions are weird. I mean, it got me for that second problem. So definitely practice first. Write down a question, refer back to my video before you do the certification. And again, on the test, right? If you make a mistake based on those silly reasons, based on those estimating things, just I'll review it, right? If I don't, let me know. I'll give you full credit. And thank you for your attention. And that's the end of 4.4.